Welcome to MyStartupTv. I'm Major Sunil Shetty. Medical emergency can strike any moment without a warning. And this many times have destroyed family finances. Many may not have a medical cover. Some who may not have enough cover to cover a medical emergency or any particular disease. This means families end up borrowing money or digging into their savings. Now this puts people and families or individuals into great financial risk. So what's the solution? Well, we have with us Chris, who's the CEO and founder of Qube Health, a medical fintech startup that has solution exactly for this situation. Chris, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Major. Thank you for having me.
At some stage in our lives gone through medical emergencies, and not everyone is fortunate enough to have a medical cover that provides them the complete coverage. Tell us how Qube Health is helping people in these situations.
Well, Qube is essentially a healthcare or a medical payments company. We enable, or our mission is to help you, the average Indian, take control of all of your medical payments. When we look at medical payments today, the options that are available to us are as follows. You can use your credit card, you can use your debit cards, you could possibly try and claim insurance, or you borrow from outside. These are essentially the limits of what are available. In some cases, you may have an employer that is willing to reimburse you on certain expenses. What we've seen is that even after 35 years since health insurance was launched in our country, less than 30 to 40% of our people actually have health insurance. Let's assume that you are in the minority that actually has health insurance. Most likely you are underinsured, which means, let's say you have a policy of 5 lakh rupees or 10 lakh rupees, the cost of your family's health care is going to be at least 3 to 4 times in your lifetime. How you pay for that differential is essentially you pay from your pocket. What in the industry terminology worldwide is known as out-of-pocket expenditure on healthcare. Simply put, it's money that you pay from your own pockets, either through your borrowings or your savings. Today, when you use your credit card, you have to settle next month. So you have to pay your bill next month. Because if you don't and you roll it over, well, the credit card company is very happy because of the interest that you will end up getting. If you're borrowing on a personal loan basis, naturally there is an interest element over there as well. And if you borrow from friends or family, while hopefully there is no financial cost, there is indeed an emotional cost associated with borrowings of this type. What QubeHealth does is essentially gives you a credit line of up to 10 lakh rupees at no cost. And I'll repeat that again. It's up to 10 lakh rupees that's available to you free of cost. You don't pay any kind of interest and you don't pay any kind of annual fees. So what's the catch? The catch is that it's only available to you if your employer, the company that you work for, subscribes to QubeHealth. We are not retail, and therefore our services are available to employees of operations. That's like that.
Is it also applicable for SMEs, companies with, let's say, 20, 30 employees? Can they also do? And if yes, what's the cost for the company?
So Major, the simple answer to that question is yes, it is indeed open to all kinds of companies. But since we are a fast-growing but yet a small company, our ideal customer profile is an organization that actually has more than 1,000 employees. It's more a management issue versus our ability to operate. The cost is actually surprisingly, or some say even ridiculously low. We charge a per day cost, which is the equivalent of a half a cup of chai. So it's about 2 rupees per day.
And per day it's for the whole year?
Yes, that's right. So
and per employee?
Yes, that's correct. The company pays on behalf of the employee a nominal fee of 720 rupees per employee per year. That's the fee that the employer pays. The employee doesn't pay it.
And you step in at what stage with your support, financial help? Is it at the time of bill settling, or is it? Basically, what happens with any typical medical, emergencies is you go there is a deposit to be done. Many times though you call it a cashless, policy, but still you end up paying certain amount. Is that the time when you set to step in, or the time of the final bill settlement? Where do you exactly step in?
Very valid question. Very, very valid question. And what you mentioned was very pertinent. You may have a health insurance policy, but actually, and they say it is cashless, but you happen to go to a hospital near your home, but that hospital is a non-cashless, which means they tell you, you pay first and then you pay for the insurance company. But to answer your question, QubeHealth is available even way before that instance when you need the money. The way it works is once your employer has signed up with Qube, you get a WhatsApp message from Qube as well as your HR asking you to download the Qube app. Since you are already pre-registered, all you do is enter your mobile number and get an OTP and you log in. Once you've logged in, it will say, hello Chris, your account is ready to be activated. Please complete your KYC. It's a simple 60 seconds process. You take a selfie, you enter your Aadhaar number, you enter your PAN card, and instantly a credit line is made available to you. Now let's say, for example, you've got 10 lakh rupees available. You could instantly withdraw as little as 5,000 rupees to pay for a medical bill or a health checkup. And the way it works is, again, on the app, you simply request the amount and the money gets transferred directly to the healthcare provider across the country. It's as simple as that.
So I don't need to provide you with any medical prescription or a bill or invoice, because why I ask this question is that also leads to a situation where somebody could misuse the facility or the support that's available for a different reason.
Indeed. Very valid point. So there are 2-3 ways in which you can use this model, right? So first is, let's take that example which you mentioned earlier of a non-cashless, which means you're at a hospital, you need to pay the deposit money, etc. The hospital needs to provide you a pro forma invoice or a pre-estimate. You have to upload the estimate, and the app, what it does is it validates that estimate against the health insurance that's available to you, and they give you a short-term loan. In that instance, you have to provide the bill in advance so that we can validate it against your insurance policy and then make that money available. But in other cases, the money and the payment is made directly to the registered healthcare provider. Now, therefore, we try to ensure that all of these are registered in legitimate hospital, clinics, diagnostic centers across the country. You are, of course, incentivized by uploading a bill. So you take a picture of the bill and you upload it and we give you cashbacks. So there is an incentive for you to make sure that it's a legitimate health.
The other thing is, when you're doing this, many times, one is to go to a hospital and get admitted if there is a serious ailment. The other is your day-to-day, ailments, right? So do you cover that as well?
We actually cover the full spectrum of health and medical expenses, ranging from medicines, doctor consultations, and when I say doctor consultations, it includes physical as well as mental health, vitamins, nutritional supplements, dental, eye, skin, hair, assisted pregnancy, the whole spectrum. As long as it is a genuine health and medical expense, it is covered.
And anything that, do you also cover post treatment, something like physiotherapy? Because many of the ailments do require a continuous intervention, maybe a physiotherapist or in some cases psychologist, do you cover that as well?
Think of it as a replacement for your credit card, because in all of those instances that you mentioned, you may be using your credit card. Think of it as a replacement. Qube is a replacement for your credit card with a payback period of up to 1 year at no cost. So it's as simple as that. Use it for not just any health or medical expenses for yourself. It could be for anyone that you determine as a family. And it's very important that I stress on that point, because we cover non-blood relations as well. It could be in-laws, it could be friends, it could be partners, it could even be your pet, whom you would consider as part of your family. So veterinarian bills are also covered.
And as you said, it can be done, you can pay back over a period of 1 year. The amount I pay back or the installment is up to me what I want to pay, right? As a user.
That's correct. That's correct. So when you request for the withdrawal from the amount that's available to you, the credit limit that's available to you, you get the choice to choose between 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, etc., all the way with a maximum of 12 months that's available.
There's always a fine print or a fine line, fine print in all these, services when you get it. Is there any disease that you don't cover?
We do not cover gymnasium fees. We do not cover salons. But apart from that, any health or medical, including homeopathy, Ayurveda, Unani, all of these are also covered. Our fine print is very simple. The healthcare provider that you want to pay has to be registered as a health medical establishment. So if you go to a local pharmacy that happens to be a medical and general store, just make sure that you pay only for the medicines and not for the chips that you are purchasing them off. And that's our only condition. Apart from that, you can spend it on any health medical.
Well, that's a lot of service and I think very well structured given the kind of challenges we face in India when it comes to healthcare and paying for the healthcare or taking the cost of medical emergencies during medical emergency. So tell us about the company. How old how old is the company, and give us some stats as to what kind of turnovers are you doing currently. How many customer base, how many companies are just signed up with you?
So we've been around for a little over 3 years now. Right from day one, we were very clear that we wanted to focus on what we call the B2B2C route of distribution of our products. So we now currently work with close to 300 plus companies. These are large organizations, and through that we manage about 300,000 employees or 3 lakh employees of those 300 companies. And by extension, their family members, right? So the credit line that's made available to them, the range is from 10,000 rupees on the low end for, let's say, clerical staff or housekeeping staff in your office to up to 10 lakh rupees for the senior most person in your organization. We've activated, in terms of a credit line, 1,000 crores worth of medical credit to these employees. Now, when I say activated, meaning think of it like a new credit card that you have received with the credit limit of 5 lakh rupees. That's essentially what we've made available. What we have seen this year now is people withdrawing from that credit limit very, very aggressively and actively. They are essentially withdrawing for 3 reasons. One, they are withdrawing it for the non-cashless piece that we talked about earlier. They happen to go to a hospital, they need emergency money to get the admission done. The insurance claim will come in 30 days or 90 days. That's one use case that they're using it for. Second, they're using it to pay for expenses that are absolutely not covered under health insurance. So medicines, doctor consultations, things of that nature, dental, knee replacements, etc. Those kind of procedures that are typically not covered under health insurance, they're using it to pay for that. And the third, they're actually using the money to actually buy top-up health insurance. So the company provides that 5 lakh rupees or 10 lakh rupees, but they want to buy additional. So that's essentially what they're able to use. Our goal over the next 3 years is to cross 3,000 crores in terms of credit line that we have activated. And our mission is really simple, right? If you had free money available today to pay for any healthcare expense for any member of your family, would you be able to have better control, better access, and make better decisions for the care that they need, thereby helping them live a healthier life? That is really our mission. How we can give you the control to make that choice, to choose whichever hospital or clinic you want to go to, as opposed to being driven by, I can afford it.
So, you're covering, you said you're already doing 1,000 crores and you're aiming for 3,000 crores. How are you funding yourself to cover these, to support your business?
So think of us as a digital distributor of medical loans. We work with NBFCs and financing companies. We currently work with 3 of them, and very soon we should be having 2 more. These are large RBI regulated entities. They are public limited companies that are very keen to lend in this sector, which is the healthcare financing sector. But up until right now, distributing those loans has been a very difficult process. Through Qube, they are able to lend to credible employed individuals for a very specific purpose, which is control. So our fintech infrastructure allows a seamless integration of their money capital getting distributed to our users. We of course do all of the other part, which is the financial technology bit, which is screening the user, creating a profile for them, connecting them with the right healthcare provider, and then ensuring that the payment goes through the system. So in many ways, the NBFCs and the financing companies, all they need to focus on is to ensure that they are providing the capital that is needed to pay them.
And, when you're talking about 300,000 plus people using your facility or the support, there must be, certain defaults. What's the percentage?
Up until right now, it is less than 0.3%. And the logic of this is, frankly, very simple, and I should not take the credit for it. traditionally in India, healthcare and education don't have a lower default rate than traditional weekend lending. Especially in the business that we've built, since we are going and distributing this through the employer, it makes it that much more embarrassing for someone to default, especially when it comes to healthcare loans. So that's the reason why we are negligibly seeing some of these things.
And do the employer in some ways cover the guarantee also?
That's the beauty of it. The employer has zero liability. So we do not, unless the employer says that, look, I would like you to, on a special case, extend the credit limit that's made available to an employee for a particular reason. Those instances have been few and far between, but they don't have any.
Do you ever see this becoming a retail model as well? And if yes, what timeline that would be?
Well, probably 5 years and beyond. For us, we believe that focusing on the employed Indian, and there is 500 million of us that are employed, right? I mean, we are employed in the private sector, the government sector, and self-employed. That in itself is slightly a portion of a market. And more importantly, the employed individuals of a household are the ones who are paying for the unemployed or dependent members of the house. So when we go through the employer or the organization, it could be, the armed forces. It could be, the large associations or groups such as the Chartered Accountancy, ICAI group, or it could be the Indian Bar Association for Lawyers. These associations are great distribution channels for creating a credible group of users who can actually use this. That's our plan.
Wishing you all the very best, Krish, for your journey from 1,000 crores to 3,000 crores. And looking forward to hosting you on some of the shows.
Thank you so much, Major. It was a pleasure being here.
Thank you.